Shalom. How you doing? Hey boys. Did you yawn? I bet you did. Today's topic is school. Unfortunately, today's shed talk isn't in the shed. It's been a bit windy, and I recorded this whole video in the shed, and then when I went back to edit it, yards and leaves on the roof. Yeah, today's talk's gonna be on school. So it's just going to be like the others. I have my questions, and then I'll just read out my answers, and then hopefully you enjoy all the things and all the stories that I tell you. So, what school did I go to? I went to a primary school, and then a high school, and then a sixth form. I went to St. Joseph's Primary School, and I went to St. Thomas More High School, and then St. Thomas More Sixth Form. I carried on. From primary school, all that I remember really is the assemblies at the start of the day, where you had to sit your legs crossed on the floor right in front while someone spoke at the front, playing Bulldog at break times. Every break we used to play Bulldog. We weren't allowed to play Takedown because people used to get hurt, so it was only tag Bulldog. When did I start secondary school? I started secondary school in 2008. 2008 I started secondary school, and I left in 2014, which is a bit wild when I think about it. 2008, it's like 10 years ago from when I started school, and it seems like so much longer. Since Thomas More Sixth Form, I started that in 2014, left in 2016. I got alright grades, but maybe I could have put in a little bit more work. Favourite subjects at school were maths, geography and PE. The PE was probably for the teachers and the subject, whereas geography, actually that's a lie, all of them I like the subject. It's just a bonus that they were the good teachers as well. And my worst subject would probably be English. If you know me, and if you know me properly and you've known me for a long time, then you probably know or come across the fact that I'm bad at English. I failed my English GCSE like 5 times before I ended up passing it as a functioning skills. I got 1 mark off quite a few times, which was frustrating, and I just started to lose interest in the subject. Unfortunately, just didn't put in the work, and I didn't get the C, but I've got it now, which is the main thing. Maybe I could have put more work in, but I was more focused on being a social butterfly. I wasn't really bothered about learning in most subjects. I was more just focused about making people laugh, trying to be a class clown. But maybe I should have just cracked on more, would have got more done. Be both the social butterfly and the blank canvas. If I could go back, would I change anything? I wouldn't say I'd change anything. Maybe I'd not care as much about what people thought. I feel like while I was at school, I did a lot of things just for the entertainment of others. Out of boredom. GCSEs, I got quite good grades, I think. B's in maths, in business. C, 2 C's in science. I got a C in geography. I got a distinction star in PE, in BTEC PE. Yes, I took a BTEC, and I know everyone gets stick for it and gets stick for doing BTEC, but the way that I learn and the way that I function, I don't do very well in exams. And luckily for me, at the time, if you did BTEC PE, you didn't have to do an exam, and because I was so worried about that, that's why I chose BTEC PE, and it worked out well. I got quite a high grade. My favourite teacher was probably Mr. Rayson. If he's watching this now, thank you. Mr. Rayson was my geography teacher. I had the same teacher for geography for 4 years, and that poor dude. Wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. My first 2 years, it was battlegrounds all the time. I remember Mr. Rayson coming out and absolutely screaming at me because I forgot to go see him, and I was on my break and I was just eating sweets. He just came and screamed at us in the front, and I felt a little bad at the time, but when I was at that age, I just didn't really care about what other people thought, and just thought that he was nagging us. And then by the time I got into year 10 and year 11, I knew that all the nagging was just to try and keep my head screwed on, so that I could go in, focus on my subjects instead of just messing around. Same as Mrs. Heron, my maths teacher. She kept me pretty sturdy, pretty focused. If I had put more work into maths, I could have gotten A or an A star. Apparently, is what she said. But unfortunately, I was lazy at school. Just did it all on my normal brain capacity. I didn't really revise or put in the extra work, but it is what it is. Quite the opposite now. Whereas at school I was more focused on being a social butterfly. Now I am a social butterfly and I am focused on learning things. I do enjoy learning quite a bit now. I like picking up languages. At my work I pick up quite a few languages. I'm starting to learn a bit of Spanish. I'm starting jiu-jitsu on the 7th for 6 months. I think that'll be interesting. Learning to drive at the minute. I'm focusing on my theory. I need to practice some more for that so that I can pass that, and then as soon as I pass that I can book my practical and get that done. And then imagine all the adventures that we can go on when I start driving. But we've digressed and we've moved away from school. My least favourite thing about school would probably be the fact that we weren't allowed out at lunch. The other high schools in the area were allowed out at lunch, and it's just that little bit of extra responsibility that I feel like should be given to teenagers, because it's wild, From school, you're expected to put your hand up and ask if you can go to the toilet, and then as soon as you've left school, you've been thrown into the big wild world, and everyone wants you to fend for yourself, and it's crazy. Maybe they should have a better rapport and communication with the students about what needs to happen, or maybe the government should look at what really should be getting taught versus what needs to be taught, like taxes and mortgages and other stuff like that about the real world, instead of just focusing on why curtains are red. But I hope you enjoyed my talk on school. Sorry about my digs at English, but it is what it is. I'm a maths dude. But apart from that, peace.